Hi everyone, good evening. I hope you are doing well. So, we are now going to start the session, but before that, I've just been live 5 minutes in advance so that we can have some discussion, we can ask questions. I already see certain questions coming in from somebody on how, if the hosting has already been done, then how we can edit the website. Well, we can definitely do that. It is nothing. The site building a website, changing it, editing is nothing to do with uh, the hosting and server, right? You can anytime do that. Even after making the complete website, you can change that. So we will discuss that. Any other questions related to previous sessions? Please send me on the chat over here. Good evening, Dev Mitra. Anuradha ma'am, good evening. All right. So now we should start the session. So let us start the session now. Shifting in WordPress site to Godaddy hosting. Okay, so you have a problem in shifting WordPress site to Godaddy hosting. Uh, okay, we will discuss that on how you can shift hosting as well. Though it is slightly tricky for new users, but still we will discuss that. Hi Hina, good evening. Mr. Anuj Kumar Singh, good evening. So let's start the session now and keep asking all the questions that you have. When we should purchase a domain? Shaji, you should purchase a domain. You should at least you should do it right away because you already write. I have seen your stories. I have read your stories. So purchase it right away. Okay, don't wait for it. As soon as you've decided the name, go ahead and purchase that. Garima, good evening. Aditi, Shakshi. Yes, after a long time, I think we are connecting after quite long. Yes, almost a year when you were in CP in April batch. Okay, cool. So let's start now. Also, I will do one thing. I will conduct today's session in a way that first I will cover a few slides, like two or three slides, and then I will answer your questions. But meanwhile, you can keep sending your questions in the chat, and I will respond uh, by taking a break during the session. So, right. So, if I'm missing your questions while answering that, when I take a break, please do not mind it. Please resend the questions. I will definitely answer all the questions. Okay. So, let's start now. All right, and I would also request everyone to please like this session. Also, share it with your colleagues and do subscribe to the channel. It's really quite helpful to an extent. Yes. Okay, great. So I will now share my screen. So today's session is on how to create a WordPress website. In the past session, we had discussed on how do you create a free blog where we had discussed www.yourname.wordpress.com. Today it will be your own custom domain name. So yourname.com, right? www.yourname.com. You will use your own custom domain. Okay, great. So more people are joining in. Home Loan Jitendra, uh, T Channel, Navjot, Rofina, Surendra, Chanakya, Lakshit Jan. Good evening, everybody. So I will share my screen now, and then I will start the session. All right, so today we are going to discuss this how to create a WordPress website. And this is the 27th episode. So, welcome to the 27th episode of the Logo Files Lounge. We had our first episode in October 2019, and here we are with 27th episode. Uh, in this episode, we will learn how to create a website with WordPress, right? By end of this session, you will be able to create your website like yourdomain.com without writing a single line of code. So remember that you don't have to write a single line of code. Those who are new and who do not know about the courses, they can visit our courses on these two links. The link will be provided in the description of this video as well. Now, to create a website, what all do you need? A full-fledged website, so it's entirely your own website. So you need these 5 things, right? First is a domain name, right? Which you have to purchase. We will just discuss what is domain name and all. A server, content, graphics, and an email ID to receive inquiries, etc. to contact people. Now, what I've done is I've organized this entire session in terms of I will first try to explain the concept of domain name, a server, the WordPress, what is a WordPress, what is WordPress, and after that we will discuss on how do you utilize this, how do you buy these domain and server, etc., and then how you can utilize this, to create the website. And then I will, by end of this session, I will also create a website live while sitting here in this session so that you get to know that how easy it is to create a WordPress website. And what all are the things that create difficulty. So I have got one question so far on how do you change the hosting, but that we'll be discussing maybe at a later today or maybe in a different session. But primarily, this session is all about how do you create a site from scratch. And this session is again for beginners who are starting with WordPress. So now let us see the concept of domain name and server. So suppose user 1, somebody types ect.co.in on their browser, okay, in their Chrome browser. So the browser sends a request to the server, okay. Server stores all the content and images you put on the website. So you know that when you have to, anything that we write, right, anything that we have to store, you have to store it at a place, somewhere you have to keep that thing, any material. It takes its space. And then same is true for digital space as well. Anything that we see, so for example, this video, this all the text that you can see on the screen, everything has been stored in a storage space on a server, right? So the server stores everything that you see on the website. It is stored in a server. So the moment somebody types ect.co.in on the browser sends a request to the server, and then server, as per the request by the browser, the server sends back the data that you have put on the home page because the user has typed the home page, right? So this is the connection between the domain name, somebody types here the domain name, which is the address of this data, and then browser and uh, does this connection through the internet. Of course, it takes the internet protocol or the internet to connect the domain name with the server. I will go and explain that further in next few slides. So what is visible to the users? The visible to the users are the domain name. They only know domain name, a browser that they have to use. On mobile phone also you use internet browser, and a device, maybe a mobile phone, a tablet, or a computer. So this is visible to the users. But what on the back end, the server, how browser communicates with server is nothing is visible to the user, somebody who is browsing the internet. But it works in the background. right? It's very similar to, for example, if you send a Gmail, you only know the front end things that you have to type in the email ID and then write the content. You are really not bothered about what happens when somebody press the send button, then where it goes, how the servers communicate with each other. You're really not bothered about it. But this is where the users look at this. So this as part of the website, owners, this is on the owners of the website owners to take care of this, and we will see how do they do that. So while the users look for the information, it is the responsibility of the website owners to own a domain name, a server space, and decide how effectively and efficiently they can deliver the right information at the right time and in the right format. Okay, so as a website owner, you have to have a domain name, a server space where you will store all the data, a domain name which acts as an address, and then decide the layout of the content on how you want to present that content to the end, to the users, right? And then you will see there are certain, for newbies especially, you will find a lot of new technical terms. So let us understand these technical terms. So let's take an analogy loosely associated. I've taken this analogy which is not accurately associated, because we are comparing a thing which is three-dimensional to a digital thing. But then it is good enough to help you understand the connection between the domain name and the server. So let us take an example of an independent house. You have an address, right? So your address is like the domain name. Visitors will use this address or the domain name to locate your house. It means whenever you have to invite somebody to your house, you send them an address, right? And that address is like the domain is name is like that address. So it's basically it points out towards a particular data of space. The plot on which the house is built is like a server, not the house. The plot on which the house is built like a server. Because to build a house, you need to have a plot or a space where you can erect the structure and all. So you use the plot to create the house structure or to build the house. So that plot where everything is stored is called server. Now, the outside view of your house is like the website. Why I've taken outside view? Because the website and the things that we see, it's in two-dimensional, and house is like a 3D thing. So that is where I said that it's loosely connected. So anything which is visible from the outside, think is as a website, right? What is there in the back end, on the plot, the structure, the area, I mean, you're really not bothered about that. You simply see the house. So that becomes the website. All right. So this is the website. Now, what is the structure of the house then? The structure of the house can be equivalent to content management system. So, for example, the view of the house from the outside, you say that this is a website. But how the house is built, 2 BHK, 3 BHK, structures, where is the kitchen, bathroom, this, that, parking, etc. Everything which is there, that is how the entire house is structured. You can say that is the part of content management system, which we say in digital space, in web development, we call it a content management system. This is because we have this, it's kind of, it manages the everything. It manages space efficiently. It also shows a layout on how you want to show your content, your house to the people. So that structure of the house, we call it as a content management system. A content management system, or CMS, it is also called CMS, and you will hear this frequently. This term, content management system, it is quite a frequent term to be used in web development. It helps you organize your content on web without writing the code. think of a simple plastic structure of a house, which you can simply or go and uh, create a structure without doing all that knitting and gritties and going and creating that house from scratch. It's basically an architecture, a build up, a framework where you can simply remove the things and okay, now you've changed the structure. So uh, everything can be changed. The structure of the content can be changed using the content management system, right? Now, the CMS. Okay, so WordPress is the best known and most widely used CMS available for free. Now, a lot of people think that WordPress is maybe something, I mean, they always have a confusion what is WordPress. So, WordPress is basically a content management system. It is not server, it is nothing to do with the server, anything to do with the server. It is nothing to do with the domain name that you see, not even the website. Everything it is due to a content management system. It simply manages the content without writing a single line of code. If you are not using a CMS, then you have to have a programming language, the knowledge of a programming language to write the code and then display that same on the web, on the browser. CMS makes it easier. It's a ready-made framework that you use, drag and drop, just change things, right? It's like a presentation, you can say Microsoft presentation, MS PowerPoint, where you simply click this, drag and drop, and just uh, like Excel also, you simply write the data, apply formula, and the things come without actually knowing what is happening in the background. Similarly, WordPress is the best known and most widely used CMS, right? It is quite easy to use, and that is why a lot of developers use. Developers, businessmen, whatever you call, they use WordPress to create a website, right? Now, what happens is mostly we, as a developer, also, if you are a website owner and if you want to build the website, mostly you need to know the CMS, WordPress, WordPress. You really don't need to bother about what is server, how do you connect with the address with the server, etc. But uh, to build, the very first few steps that you need to take is to connect the domain name with the server, then install the CMS, etc. And after that, you really forget about the server. You simply focus on WordPress. And that is why we spend a lot of time in learning WordPress, and the server and domain name takes a backspace. And some people never start their website simply because they don't know what is this domain name and server, etc. Because they don't know the first few 2-3 steps. So we'll cover that as well right now. Now, as a website owner, you need to buy a domain name and a server. That's it. Two things that you need to buy. Rest of the tools are available for free, and really you don't need to write a single line of code to use either the domain name or the server, and I will show you a few examples right now. Um, Now, there are thousands of companies that sell domain name and servers, but before that, I would wait here for 5 seconds and I will see 5-10 seconds and I will say if you have any questions, please tell me so far. If you have any questions, of course, I'm going to cover the next things also, but tell me if you have any questions. What is this all about? Radhika, this is all about creating a website. What is meant by writing codes? Hina, writing codes is the programming language, like writing HTML codes or writing, if you know HTML, if you remember HTML. So you really don't need to know any programming language to create the website. This is what I meant by writing a code. You simply like you don't write codes for using PowerPoint. Similarly, a lot of people think that you need to become a developer or you need to be a website designer to design a website, but you can do it without even writing a single line of code or knowing any programming language. So we can buy. Okay, so Garima is saying, can we buy a domain name from WordPress also? Yes, Garima, I will talk about that. You can buy a domain name from any site. There are thousands of websites that offer domain name, right? So you can buy that from WordPress.com as well. Lakshu, thank you very much. Stay tuned. We will have more. Jagriti is saying, what is the cost of domain name and server? Jagriti, the cost of domain name and server is per annum basis, so we pay on yearly basis. So you can, if you really want to know about a domain name, so simply you visit godaddy.com. I will include this link in the description of this video as well, and search for any uh, domain name, right? So for example, I will take your name only to search this example. Suppose I need this one, all right? So, and then I search here, search domain, and it will tell you how much will it cost. Usually a .com domain costs around 1000 rupee. It is saying $1 per month, but once you will go and add to cart and continue to cart, it will, domain name costs around 1000 rupee per annum, and the server costs around 3 to 4000 rupee per annum. So you should consider an investment of 5000 rupee for domain name as well as um, the server in a year. In the first year, you might pay less because as a new customer, a lot of companies offer some discounts. But from the second year onwards, when you will renew these, you will pay almost 5000 rupee per annum. Okay. All right. Then I'm getting a question from um, Bhargavi. Yes. Do we have to pay rent on the domain name? Uh, Bhargavi, yes, you have to pay on a yearly basis. Jitendra is asking, what is the basic difference between blog and website, as blog also contains menu? Jitendra, as such, blog is part of the website. It's not the entire website. So for example, when I'm using this, suppose I have created, this is the ect.co.in, this is a website, a complete website. We own this. I own this. I can make these changes. But in case of a blog, this is a part of, like in the previous class we had done, ectindia.wordpress.com. So we do not own this domain name entirely, right? The WordPress name is attached. And a website have a very professional impression when you are doing a business. It gives a professional impression that you are uh, I mean, you own the domain name. You cannot do a professional business taking this WordPress.com. It's mainly for hobby bloggers that they start with a blog and then they finally go and create a full-fledged website. Okay, people are. I was not speaking that time. That is where you lost the name. Okay, the sound. Then Aditi is asking, does WordPress sell domain name and server? Yes, Aditi. Domain name and server, WordPress.com sells that. We will just see it. Okay. Domain and hosting are free also. Uh, Home loan. Okay. No, domain and hosting are not free. The free things are only, I mean, some companies might give free for maybe for the first month or two, but that is not free forever. Some companies, when you will buy server from them, then you will see that they are offering you a free domain name. So it's kind of an offer, but no companies will give both of this for free. Is sound coming now? Okay. So now let's go ahead with. I hope all of you have got your answers. So now let's get started with the next session. So now on how will you buy? There are certain questions that always comes related to buying a domain name or a server. So let me clarify that one. So there are a lot of companies um, that sell domain name and server, right? And any company that sell a domain name, they definitely sell server, and any company that sells server, they will definitely sell a domain name. So it's kind of goes hand in hand, right? So now Jitendra is saying a blog purchase from WordPress is a website. Yes, Jitendra, absolutely. Now, great. So now the next thing. The companies that sell servers are known as hosting service providers. So you will also hear, this term quite frequently, that hosting. Some people do not say server, they say hosting. So please understand that though technically it is might be slightly uh, it's different term, the hosting and server, but for you as a website developer or a owner, it's one and same thing. The only thing is that hosting companies, they take care of nitty gritties of the server, right? They take care of everything in the backend, and then they give you just simply a login and password, and I will show you how. Right? They will just give you login and password. You use that and you buy, I mean, to use that server. So they create an interface that can be understood by anybody. Okay, because as a server, as a thing, so server is basically a hard disk, right? It's a digital space, storage space, where you can store the data. But now as a layman, we cannot really understand how to deal with the server. So what hosting companies do, they create a interface, the user interface between for the server, so that any layman can simply enter the website, and and they can use the server without knowing the technical side of the server. But uh, this hosting companies and server, for your purposes, practical purposes, both are one and same. All right. So hosting companies, service providers, manage every technical stuff on their backend and give you access to the servers through a login ID and password, right? It's like, think of a Gmail. You simply have to log in into the system to check your emails without being bothered about what happens in the backend, right? Okay. Now, what happens is when you go and buy a domain name. So, for example, if we visit WordPress.com also, okay, and you will see that GoDaddy, even GoDaddy also, you will see if go there domain hosting. They also sell hosting and domain name. So every companies will always sell domain, and this is WordPress means WordPress hosting. I will just cover that. Similarly, if you go on WordPress, um, yes, Jagrati is saying that Jitendra is asking, does cloud space like Drive? Yes, Jitendra, absolutely. The cloud space is also a kind of a server only that we use. And companies, big companies, give something, a lot of things for free because they sell their other products also. So, for example, Gmail that we use certain 2 GB, 5 GB, 30 GB data for free. That server is given by Google to us, right? Uh, yes, just a second. Okay. Then Jagrati is saying, so Gmail is free server we are using to check mails. Um, yes, uh, Jagruti. So for Gmail, we get free server, right? Even when you go and buy server for a professional purposes, then okay, all right, okay. So now see WordPress, right? Um, they also sell. So when you click on WordPress.com and if you come here, so now you will see featured plans and pricing. The free one, the one they charge for free, is a kind of, you will get a blog, and this one you will get a custom domain name also. So what WordPress does is that WordPress.com, they have this domain name and server packed in a package, and then they give it to you, right? For this pricing, right? Uh, this is what WordPress does. They basically, WordPress.com, look at this WordPress.com, they charge you for domain name and server together, and they give these features, right? Whereas in case of if you visit WordPress.org, right? Now, this is the free system provided by WordPress itself. So the backend of WordPress.com is available for free to everyone, right? WordPress.org, you can go and download and use that. But usually, since we do not know about how to create a domain name, how to buy a domain name, how to buy a server, how to install a WordPress, so the easiest thing that we have is simply go here and pay them a price, and they will give you a bundle of everything through one login at one place, right? But remember that WordPress is the backend of WordPress that we discussed in the last session is entirely free, right? So we will now go and see that even if you do not use WordPress, this one, WordPress.com, how you can go and purchase a domain name and a server from somewhere else and take and build your own website using WordPress. This website, WordPress.com, for beginners, this looks promising because it's quite cheap. So, for example, personal plan is starting from 2400, premium is starting for around 4200 rupee per annum. But the moment you go for businesses and e-commerce sector, e-commerce, it's kind of it's it quite expensive. The full features are available only when you buy an e-commerce platform. Whereas in case of if you know this, domain name, connecting a server, and this WordPress.org, then it's quite easy for everybody to create a very powerful website for free, right? You simply have to pay for domain name and server, and rest of things are free. We'll just see that how. Okay, so Sunanda is asking, sir, can we make our own website without writing codes through WordPress.com or also through others? Sunanda, you can make it through anywhere. So this is what I said, that WordPress.com just offers that for free. That's it. You can make this, you can create your WordPress website from anywhere, from others also, Godaddy, anywhere. You can buy domain name and server from anywhere, and you can develop the website without writing a single line of code, right? Okay, so again to repeat, I am saying that in WordPress.com you can go and uh, buy domain name server at one place through everything at one place, and you can create your website. But it has limitations in terms of plan. From others, you can go buy domain name and server from elsewhere and then install WordPress for free, and I will just show you how. It's very simple, and create a full-fledged website without any restriction. There are two ways, you can choose any one of them, but it's important to know both the ways. Now let us see connecting domain name and server. So suppose if you buy domain name and server from the same organization. So for example, if you are buying the domain name and server from GoDaddy itself, both from one place, then you don't have to connect the both, right? It's like suppose you are buying a plot, then you have to give it address, right? Then only both will be connected to each other. And if you give that address to somebody, that user will visit your plot only. So whenever we buy a domain name and a server, both needs to point towards each other. So it's kind of domain should point to server and server should point to domain name. This is how it should work. If you buy both the things, domain name and server, from the same place, from the same company, then you do not have to connect the both. The company will give you everything connected. So simply you install WordPress and start using that. But if you connect domain name, if you buy domain name and server, there is some typo here, please excuse me for that. When you buy a domain name and server from different organizations, so for example, suppose you bought domain name from GoDaddy and you bought server from hostinger.com or siteground.com or any other .com, then you have to first connect the both and then install the WordPress and then get you to start working. We will see on how does that work. Now, if things are clear so far, then this is the further step to create a WordPress website. You first buy a domain name, then buy a server, then connect the domain name and server both, install the WordPress, decide the theme, and then get started. And then if you buy a WordPress hosting, then all these four steps. So WordPress hosting means, so for example, this one, Godaddy. If you go on Godaddy, you will see that they sell WordPress also. So if you click on WordPress hosting. So what happens is that they connect everything together and give it to you, right? You simply have to go and start using WordPress. It's like absolutely, it's buying a DDA flat versus building house from private entity. Absolutely, it's like buying an apartment. You go get everything inbuilt. You simply go have your furniture, buy your household things and then start living there. So this is a WordPress hosting. If you don't do it, I mean WordPress.com also does the same. They have the domain name, the server, and then they have installed the WordPress. You simply go and start building your house, start building your website, right? But I have taken a slightly, in this particular case, now I will create a website, okay? And I have taken a slightly difficult example, because easier example in any case you will be able to do once you understand the difficult example, right? So the easiest example is going and building this through WordPress, purchasing a plan from WordPress.com, and then build your website, right? A bit difficult step is go and buy your domain name from GoDaddy or from any other platform, okay? And then buy your server from some company, okay? And then connect the server and then start building the WordPress. Now, for example, right now the thing that I'm going to do is I've used siteground.com from where I have bought a server. So the ect.co.in that you know is hosted on this server. So I will use this example, and I have bought a domain name long back, which is this is GoDaddy account, and this is a digitalimpulse.in, the website that I had bought long back in 2011, right? So I will use this digitalimpulse.in. I will connect this domain name. I bought it from this company, incyber.in, and I have bought this. By the way, if you have to buy a domain name specifically, then use GoDaddy only. That is a good site, a good company to buy a domain name. And I have used SiteGround. I have bought server from SiteGround. So let us see how do we do that. So once you will buy a domain name, you will get a username and password from where you can go and have your contact details, name server, child name server, etc. You will see. Once you will go on godaddy.com, you will see my account. They will also give you a login ID and password, and you will have all your uh, account details mentioned over here, all the websites, right? Once you have bought the domain name, then you go and buy a server. So I have bought a server from here, and once you pay them the money, they will give you the login details, which you can, now I will use login details to log in here. So suppose I am logging here. I have already bought it. I have got the username and password. So I will now log in here, and I will click on stay logged in. So I will log in. Now, once I log in, it is taking some time. So since these two are from different companies, one domain name I have bought from Incyber Inc. and the hosting I have bought from siteground.com. So here you see I have logged in the hosting account. It is coming here. I will now click on websites. Okay. Now you will see there are already some websites hosted over here, 6pl.com, ect.co.in. This is the existing website. I had hosted this website, just an example, which I'm doing right now. This was done in somewhere in the example. So now I have to add a new website. By the way, most of the hostings that you will buy, they give unlimited domain. So for example, even in Godaddy also we saw that, where was this? So you will see various plans, basics, deluxe, and ultimate, and e-commerce, where you will get how many domains you can use that. So one website, one website, one website, one. Okay, this is only for one website. You will also have hosting for multiple websites, so maybe unlimited websites. So my server has unlimited websites. I can add as many as possible. So I will now, since I have to add the new website, so I will click on new website. Okay, just to tell you one thing, that the interface will differ slightly. Okay, the interface will be slightly different from in all the servers. Okay, but this is quite intuitive. Simply, you know that you have to add a new website, so you have to click on new website. So I will click a new website over here. Then it is saying that new domain, existing domain, or temporary domain. New domain means you don't have a domain and you want to buy domain from SiteGround itself, which is not the case. This is the case. I already have an existing domain from another company, so I will use this existing domain, right? So I will get selected. Then enter your domain name. So my domain name that I bought was digitalimpulse.in. By the way, our company name is Digital Impulse Online Private Limited. This is the domain of that. Okay, which we have not built the website now. Probably waiting for this day to give that example. So digitalimpulse.in, I am using this, and then I will click on continue. Jiten, the temporary domain is for, suppose you are using for testing purposes and you are using a temporary domain for some times, and you can use that domain. It does not have the complete domain like ect.co.in or 6pl.com. It's like xyz.wordpress.com. So they give us temporary domain for certain period of time. Garima is asking, can we use the same domain name and create multiple websites? Uh, no, only one domain name, one website, because for one address there is only one thing, one kind of website that you will be getting. So for creating multiple websites, you will have to use multiple domain names. Dev Mitra is asking, what is interface? Interface means the thing that you see here. So interface means uh, what is visible to the users. Okay, so maybe website is placed here, menu, where is the menu is placed, where logo is placed. So that is interface. Okay, what is visible to you as a user on the system. Sunanda is again asking, if we create multiple websites, then does the amount to be paid also increases from the same server? No, Sunanda, we have already bought, so you buy once, so SiteGround pricing, I will just show you. You can buy for unlimited domains, and then you can add multiple websites. The pricing does not matter. So I bought this one, WordPress hosting. Um, you see that they have given this plan is only for one website. Since I have bought this plan, so it offers me unlimited websites. So as long as I have this 20 GB space, right? If I do not cross that, I can use unlimited number of domain names without increasing the cost. But the moment my data exceeds 20 GB, in that case I will have to pay, because uh, that exceeds the plan, right? Uh, can one domain be connected to more than one server? Krupa is asking that question. No, Krupa, you can have only one domain connected to only one server. You cannot connect to multiple servers. In that case, it will get confused and it will not work. It is just like one domain name cannot point to different servers, or one address cannot point to different addresses. Absolutely, sir. It's exactly the same, having multiple companies operating from the same office space. Absolutely. Okay. Now, continuing from here, so I entered the domain name. Now see, it is saying that the domain you wish to use is not registered in your SiteGround account, means this account. You should make sure that you have access to this domain in order to update its DNS setting after your site is created or your site won't open. To proceed with this domain, click continue again. So it is just giving a warning that this particular domain that you have selected is not registered with SiteGround. So you must have access to that account from where you have bought this domain name. If you are sure, then click on continue. I will click on continue. Now see, it is saying that start a new website. Means, do you want to start a new website, or you already have a website from a different server and you want to transfer that server to SiteGround. Now, I do not have a website, so I will click on start new website. I will click here. Then it is saying choose application, means which application you want to install. Now you will see WordPress, WooCommerce. WooCommerce is primarily for commerce platform, so e-commerce platform. So suppose you want to sell products online, then you will use WooCommerce. Okay. Else, Weebly site builder. This is a different site builder, just like WordPress, or something else you want to install. So since we have to build the website using WordPress, so we will click on select WordPress. Now it is saying that set up login access. This means that here we are just entering the login address, means from where, remember WordPress admin credentials that we had discussed in the last class, that how you will enter into the WordPress login to make any changes in the website. So here we will put an admin account. You will become an admin of the WordPress and you don't need to come back here on the server again and again. Once you connect and once you install the WordPress, you have nothing to do with the server. You simply have to deal with WordPress. So I will just create an admin account over here, and I will keep any. Okay, and then I will click on continue. Aditi, if you are confused, please ask a question where you are confused. Now, this is saying SG site scanner add this. This is now trying to cross sell a new service. Don't do that. Simply click on finish. Click on finish. Now this is creating the site, means it is installing WordPress. We have to wait. Please wait. It takes less than 2 minutes to complete the website creation. Now in the backend, this is creating a space for the new website. Then it is installing the WordPress, and then it is creating an account for us that we will use to create build the website. Devmitra is asking admin account confused. Okay, admin account, Devmitra, we will just see that. Let us just remember that we have created an admin account. I will tell you where we are going to use that admin account, right? I will say that where we are going to use that admin account. Now, ground server, SiteGround is a server website. Yes, Aditi, SiteGround is a company that sells server, right? So we have bought server from SiteGround. Now we are going to use that. Why we selected the new website? Because we had to create a new website. I mean, we are building a website from scratch. So now we are creating a new website so that we can we can add all the information related to the new website to on the server, on the SiteGround server. Jitendra is asking, when we already have account in WordPress, then why WordPress installing for each domain? Yes, Jitendra, it is important because when you have bought a server, uh, you have bought a server for unlimited websites, and WordPress is not the only domain, only application that you will use to build a website, right? There are multiple applications like Joomla, like a lot of other CMS, content management system. So it will ask you that please tell me that which application you want to install for each website. All right. So it's kind of every time it will ask. So even though, for example, so that you are clear, I mean, the site is clear that you are going to install only in WordPress. There are multiple CMSs. So you have to tell them that, okay, install WordPress. If you say to install a Weebly or some other service, they will install that. Okay, Aditi is saying, then what about the domain name? See, the domain name, as I said, that again, remember that domain name, Aditi, is about the address, okay, that people use to reach a particular plot. The server is like a plot where the data is hosted. Domain name is just the address, right? We have to use server to host everything, to put all the data there. Now, since we have created this domain name, all right, now say it is saying something. It is saying that point your domain. Now this is the point. Aditi, I hope things are clear. If not, then please message me once again. I will explain. Um, Now it is saying that point to domain. Remember here we discussed one thing that you have to point this. If you buy domain name and server from two different companies, then you need to point domain name to server, server to domain name, so that the both are connected. The domain name knows that where the data is stored, right? So now we will do the pointing part. We will connect both domain name and server so that both will get to know each other. So now let us make them friends now. So next step is making them friends so that domain name and the server can become friend. And whenever the domain name is somebody is searching for that domain name, they will point to this SiteGround server. Now, this is slightly difficult part that people find it difficult, though it is very easy. It has given two, pointers. What we need to do is, this is called DNS or name server, domain name servers. Domain, D for domain, N for name, S for servers, right? Now, what we need to do is we have to copy these name servers and paste it in your account. Okay, so if suppose I have bought it from this website, so I will go and find out where the name server is mentioned. Now here is the name server is mentioned, right? So I will click on the name server, say digitalimpulse.in, and then you will see that there are, it is just taking time because of slow internet connection. Certain lists will come. The list of name servers will come, okay? And what I will need to do is, I will copy here two name servers, the list of two name server, and go and paste it here. I will just try to start it once again. It is taking a lot of time. I hope just it is done. In case if you have bought it from Godaddy, for example, so for example, if Godaddy, so you will again see this DNS, click on DNS, and um, you will see this is the name server, right? And the name server right now, it is pointing towards dns1.namechiefhosting.com. Click on change, and then copy and paste these name servers over here. Okay, this was just an example if you have bought it from GoDaddy. Since I have bought it from here and it is taking a lot of time, I will just try once again to see if this is still logged in. See, it is not logged in, so I will have to log in once again. So let me log in this. I hope I remember the password. Okay, so I logged in. I will go to list search orders, and then I will click on, say, this domain name. There are two domain names over here. This was in 2010, I got this domain name. Then I will click on name servers, right? And this is more or less again same. Whenever from where you will buy the domain, you will see something called name servers. You don't have to bother about where what other things are. You simply focus on name server. So click on name server. Now see, these 4 name servers are coming. Here we have only 2. So what I will do is I will go name server 1, copy this one and paste it here. The star mark means these 2 are mandatory. Then I will go take this name server and then paste it here, right? Since name server 3 and 4 are not there, we will simply delete that because only 2 are important and these 2 must be there. So only one should not be there, both are must. And then create on update name servers. Now you have to wait. Once you have done, you will have to wait for 2 minutes. In some cases, I mean technically up to uh, around up to 24 hours, but usually it not more than 5 minutes it will get updated. We will just refresh on that whether it has been updated or not. But before that, I've got a question: how I can make professional website and use an autopilot sales through social media? Well, right now we are considering how to create a professional website. This autopilot, this is a fancy term, sales, though we will be covering that in some other sessions, but mostly we cover this in our classes. This is not suitable for YouTube because it requires some complex concepts. But yes, right now we are seeing how to create a professional website. Now I will just click on name server to see if it has been updated or not. So now see, this has been updated. And if you really want to check whether the name servers have been updated or not, so there is a website called whois.com. By the way, this whois.com will give you the kundli of all the websites. So simply go and click on digitalimpulse.in. Okay. This is an independent verification. This site will tell you what are the name servers. Now name servers are ns1 this.asia, ns2 this.asia, which was there on SiteGround. So now this has been updated. The name server has been updated. It means the domain name and the server are now pointing towards each other. This is done now. Now you have to go and click on manage sites. So let's click on manage sites. And let's see what comes in. So yes, it is saying your domain is not pointing to this site. So it is still not taken that domain is pointing or not. Name servers change may take up to 24 hours to propagate. If you have already changed your name servers, you can refresh. Now let us refresh that to see if this is pointing towards or not. It is still saying it is not pointing. Hopefully, let's see. I hope that it will just be updated in 5 minutes. Okay, now it is just saying that you will see site file manager. I will go that into a little different. WordPress, this we installed and manage. So we have installed already, and here it is coming, the digitalimpulse.in installation WordPress. Current version is 5.4. Now we have finished this. The only thing that is worrying me right now is this is showing that it has not been updated, and this is showing the updated version, and whois.com is a third party. So what I do is, to check this, I will just click on digitalimpulse.in. I will see what is coming. So this site is still not reachable. Let me use a guest to see if this is That is slightly takes some time to point towards digitalimpulse.in. Okay, it is not taking yet. So let's see uh, if this, I will just refresh this. And meanwhile, if you have any questions, because it might take some time, if you have any questions, please ask me. Okay, here it has been updated. And this is, now see, this is success. This is done. IP address, now site information is coming. This is the IP address. And this is the final name server which is coming. Now it should also be coming now. Okay. All right. So now the next thing that you need to do is that we have to check on, so WordPress has been installed. Okay. Now it is saying where you need to install the WordPress. Okay. So let's see now. So digitalimpulse.in installation path. This is taking, this is saying to install on the home page itself. Language would be English. Then additional info, username and password. I will just show you on why we are putting this username and password. Um, Email, install. Not empty, it is already created. Okay. All right, it is. So until that happens, refuse to connect. This is domain name. I hope the domain name is fine. Yes, this is for sure. These are the technical things that comes up. Especially it takes certain times to, I hope the name is correct, December 2020, everything is fine. This is also good. So, okay. Once again refresh. If something doesn't work on internet, we simply keep on refreshing so that it counts. Okay. Somehow it is still not taking. It will take a few moments to come, and by that time we will just wait. And meanwhile, we will do something else so that we do not waste our time and do something else. And then we will come back over here, right? So once we will have this, it will operate, it should operate in 5 minutes. We will come back and just see that it might be taking some time to uh, getting it refreshed. But meanwhile, we will go back and we will now discuss, we will address that question on how do you uh, why we created that admin account, right? This admin account was created for this one. So for example, a ACT website also uses WordPress. So suppose this is a WordPress site which we have used. Once you click on ect.co.in, the website opens, right? I think that there is certain problem with the internet and that is why it is slightly slow. But okay. So ect.co.in, we have opened the website. Now I have to, suppose I have to make certain changes, right? Which website is working, Aditi? Can you just type it here? Okay. So here it is, suppose I have to make any changes. So I have to change this certification, or I have to uh, make this about to about us, or anything that I have to change. What I need to do is I have to go and login panel. Now I have to log in the WordPress panel. And by the way, once you install the WordPress, okay, you forget about server and domain name and anything. You simply have to work with WordPress only. Okay, so suppose this website is installed in WordPress, and now I have to go and make changes. So what will I do is I will use this ect.co.in slash wp admin. This is the path of for admins. Okay, so and then I will click here. Now it is asking for username and password, and that was the username and password I created in the admin panel when I used when I was installing WordPress, right? Now I think it is now opening it. There might be some cache issue on my end. Digital impulse dot in, it is opening, right? So let me just check it on a different browser. Maybe there it will be opening. Sometimes this is also a problem, so it's kind of browser can see. Now this is the site, this was WordPress was installed, and this is where it was opening. All right, why Chrome was not opening? Because of the cache problem. It might have restored a version of cache. Okay, what I need to do is I have to go and clear the cache right now. Okay, but the problem in clearing cache with this Chrome is that everything else that we have logged in will be cleared out right now, so we will not clear the cache. I'm using Safari browser to check this. Now see, digitalimpulse.in, we installed the WordPress and now it is opening. Okay, the WordPress has been installed over here. The next step is now you have to go and click. Now you have to go and make the changes, right? By the way, thanks Anuradha ma'am, and thanks Aditi for pointing this out. It was I was kind of confused why it was not opening. All right, so now the website has been installed. So again, just to recap, that we went here on the domain name just to change the name server, right? We updated the name server. We got this name server from the server, right? We installed WordPress over here, and the work for these two are done. You don't need to go on your domain account or your server account for anything now until there is some problem in the website. You really don't need to log in into these two accounts. You can simply go forget about this domain name and server account work is done. Okay, now the next process is to build the website, to create the menu, to insert the logo, and to write the content, insert images, upload videos, etc. Now, how will you do that? So for that, I will click on digitalimpulse.in, the website address, slash WP admin. Now this is the WP admin, this is the admin address from where administrators manage the content, and then I will click on enter. Okay, now this is the username and password that which is asking, which I had created that time when I was installing the application. So I will now put my username over here and password over here. Okay, so this is now loading. So WordPress has been installed and it is saying start now. Welcome to your WordPress website. We will click on start now, and it will tell you a few steps that you need to uh, fill in. So it is saying that here are, first of all, it is saying that choose a particular theme. And by the way, I have given the steps that once you install the WordPress, uh, you start with decide a theme and get started. So we have done till now installing the WordPress. The next thing is that we have to decide a theme and get started. So now is the time to decide a theme. It is saying 2017 charity. To begin with, if you're working for a freelancer, you can use this one, online boutique, my restaurants. There are different themes for different uh, businesses, right? So what I have to do is, suppose I go and choose a business one. So let us choose a business theme. So maybe a new business, doctors, energy panels, freelancers, my restaurant, law firm. I will use the new business one, this one, select this one, right? Then it is saying that choose Elementor, a kind of simple, whether you choose or not, or simply you can uh, this is the page builder. Okay, we will just see where it is used, but remember this is the page builder and this is WooCommerce. If you want to sell a product, you can choose this one also. We don't have to sell a product, so we will not choose. And let's keep this selected and then confirm. It is asking more things, more plugins to download. We'll simply click on continue and then complete. Now, these were the initial few steps where it asked you to install certain plugins. You can simply skip those steps also, that is not needed. It is just being installed right now. And once this is installed, so by the way, once the WordPress is installed and once you have decided a theme basically tells you about the design, which design, how your design should look like. Okay, and whenever you have to change the design, you have to change the theme of the website, right? And by the way, it's very easy to change design overnight. So if you have one particular design, and if you want that, no, you have to change the design once again, right? So simply change the theme. Okay, select a theme and change it. If you like the theme, you will see the design will automatically change in just a matter of few minutes. So that is, it is that easy to change. By the time it is refreshing this, let's move on to our next step. So once you decide a theme and once you install the theme, the next step should be you should learn to change themes. On how do we change themes, then how do we add new plugins, general settings, and the users. We will just see that. Meanwhile, I'm getting a question from Bhargavi. Is there an advantage to buying domain name and server from different companies? Bhargavi, it is an advantage only when, so you can buy a domain name from where you are getting at the cheapest price, because sometimes suppose you have got an offer from some company, so you can buy it from there, and then you can buy server from another company from where you are getting is the cheapest, right? That is only advantage. There is no other advantage. A lot of companies, what they do is they give you free domain name, but they charge you more in the server. So sometimes if you are smart enough, if you know this entire process, so you can take their free domain name and then you can buy the server from some other company where either you are getting at a cheap rate or even free. That is the only difference, cost difference. Jitendra is asking, for each domain there is a difference WP admin login ID and password. WordPress account sign up ID and password is different? No. Jitendra, for each domain there will be different admin login and ID and password. But the WordPress account will remain the same, the one which you used for admin login ID and password. So in fact, you will have two ID and passwords, one for the server, which initially I used, and then one for WordPress, which once you install the WordPress, uh, you will use that after installing the WordPress. Then you are saying, can we design or customize our own layout? Garima, you can design or customize your own layout, uh, but only when you will have some experience in the builder, else you will find it slightly difficult. So I do recommend that begin with a standard layout, a standard platform, and then move out to, do experiment, and then you build on creating your own layout. By the way, it is possible. You might have to purchase something extra that I will discuss just after that. Purchase that thing to make it happen, but it is possible. Now, Devmitra is asking, can we use personal themes or use what available? Devmitra, again, the same thing. You can use your personal themes as well, but for that you need to have slightly advanced knowledge of the WordPress. It's always recommended that begin with existing themes and then go ahead with building your own or asking a developer to build your own, because the moment you will go for more customization, you might have to purchase a few things. Okay, we'll just see that what is that. Now this is saying that your site is ready. Go to dashboard or view website. So let's go to dashboard. Dashboard means the admin dashboard, from where admin will see the dashboard. Now remember this, if you attended the last session, you will imagine that again we have come back to this that WordPress thing. Yes, the entire backend is very much similar to WordPress, where you have this post, media, pages, comments, WooCommerce, products, right? These stuff, templates, appearance, themes, etc. That is where now you have logged in all the changes, everything that you will make in WordPress. Now the role of domain name and server is over. Everything that you did, that we studied in the last session, will be applicable here as well, right? And that was the only learning thing, and that was the only discomfort of 15-20 minutes that people are afraid of while building a website, because now this thing is completely non-technical. Let us see how our website is looking like. So the website is looking something like this. See this is an inbuilt theme, standard theme that we used, and it is already have sections about our focus, our team, features, pricing, testimonial, contact us, right? Blog, this is sections, some background images. It is already inbuilt. It means virtually your website is ready. And this is where I said that build your website in 30 minutes or 25 minutes. This is so easy. Of course, the next part is, which is most difficult part, is going and then writing the content. So most of you are content writing writers here. And that is why, again, I emphasize a lot on writing thing, because you can see clearly that building a site was too easy. You did not have to write a single line of code. Neither you had to write a single line of sentence also. The next work will start when you will write your own tagline, your content, uh, images, pictures, etc. Right? And there is a way of creating pictures also. Some of you have already seen in the class. Some of you, those who have not seen, we will cover in a different class. But we can change the picture also. Now this is the theme. This is the site it is looking like. Remember that this is the black strip that you see. It is only for admins. It will not be visible to everyone. So if you want to see the website on how it will look to user, you can have another. You can see on another web browser. So let's go here and see that. It is still Chrome is still not taking. I think it needs to clear the cache before it sees it. But okay, so let's see this. It is looking like this. Yeah. Now the next part that you should know is that what if you don't like this theme? So the first thing to learn is go on this and check where is appearance. Now this is appearance. Appearance, in appearance section you will see themes, customize, widgets, menu, background, etc. Forget about all this. Simply go on themes. Click on themes. Then you will find these are the themes which is already installed, which comes along with uh, WordPress. By the way, these themes 2020, 2019, 2017, these are WordPress own themes. Okay, it is inbuilt themes in WordPress. If you want to search something more, suppose you are related from education, restaurant, or from any other site, you can simply go and click here on add new. okay, to change a new theme. And then you can go and change themes. So super blog, simple days, okay, suppose Bismart, suppose I like this theme, okay. So what I will do is I will simply click on detail and preview. So preview will show me that how my site will look like. It is giving a kind of live preview that okay, this website is looking like this. Suppose I like this one, okay. So what I will do is I will click on install. And while installing it, you will see that how you can change the entire theme, entire design just by changing the theme. Once you're installed, and then you have to click on activate. So now this is activated, okay. Now see in the list of installed theme, now this has also come Bismart. Go and see how your website, click on refresh and you will see how your website is now looking like. See this sections, this has changed, okay. We will use the same strategy or same techniques to edit these images, text, etc. the WordPress way that we had done in the last class. Again, I will go back because I liked the previous one. I did not like this one. So I will go the previous one. I will activate this one because this was much better theme. So I will activate this theme once again. Okay. And I will check this one once now. So this has changed now. So this is how you can go and make changes in the themes. Go on theme and add new and search for it and you can check the existing ones. Yes, Garima, all the themes which is inbuilt in the system will be free of cost. If you want to buy a theme from somewhere else, because if you will go on Google and search WordPress themes, so you will find hundreds of websites against WordPress themes. So you will see a lot of websites from where you can go and buy a theme. Okay, then you can, if you want to buy a theme, then you have to go and buy from somewhere. So for example, if I have to go and buy from this elegantthemes.com, which we are using right now in ECT website, we have bought it from here. Okay, I will give the link to this also in the description of this video. And then once you buy it from here, Jagrati is saying, can you share the link of the last class? Yes, it is there in the description of this video. Check at the end, and we will, in any case, we will again add that. Okay, so now suppose I have to buy it from here. So what I need to do is, suppose I'm asking for suppose you would like to buy a new theme. Okay, so I will click here, I will log in here. Okay, this is the theme that we are using in our ECT website, and then you have to download whichever theme you want to download. You can download from here, right? And once you download, you come here and add new theme. From there you have to upload a theme, and then you can activate that. Again the same thing. So it's quite easy, you can do that. Alright, so this is how you upload a new theme and make new changes. You can buy it from elsewhere. So this is all about design. Now suppose you already have a design and you have to make certain changes in that. Okay, then you will have to click on customize. Click on customize. And you will find the same thing, which is, which we saw again in WordPress with some advanced. There will be slightly advanced features. So it's like View Pro features. So by the way, these themes are free to use, but if you want more features, so it will say that they pay. So they are saying that okay, you can buy this theme, the premium version of this theme, and you can achieve these one also. But again, as a beginner, I always recommend that use a free theme only. By the way, when I had discovered WordPress long back in 2010-11, I have used WordPress for good 5 years. I have used only free themes. Okay, I bought a paid theme only in 2015 when actually the business was taking off. We were getting a lot of client base, a lot of traction, and we were promoting our website like anything. Then only we had to buy the theme. Otherwise, free themes are more than enough to create a professional impression. If you, in case if you want to know which theme is good for you, so you can again go back on Google and search for best, uh, WordPress free themes. Free, you can put it free, and you can see this. You will find a lot of good listings over here. Also, if you want to know more about WordPress, there is one site called WP Beginner. I trust them. I visit their website, wpbeginner.com. I will include this link as well in the description of this video. They have a good resources in terms of these tips, techniques on how to install WordPress. If you're facing any problem, you can simply go and search using WP Beginner. You will find the solution over there, right? So you will find a lot of resources and videos on WP Beginners. Okay, all right. So this is all about using a free themes. Always use a free theme. If you have to make certain changes, so recall the things that we studied in the last session. I will quickly take you through. I will not spend more time over here simply. So, for example, layout, container, width, container style. Now you have to go and experiment this. Content sidebar, how you want to keep side layout this way, this way, this way, right? And when we will make changes over here, it will preview. It will give you an option to preview, right? um, I will not spend much time in previewing and seeing the result over here because you know it will take a lot of time. So I will just give you an option that from here you can see content, sidebar, blog page, single post, how it will look like, title, thumbnail, content, tags. You have to go and search for it if you find something confusing. Um, yes. So yes, content sidebar will keep again this one only, the one which was there. Blog archive, you can go and select that. Header, footer, see change logo, change header color. You can change logo, simply click on this and then you can install. This is only for display right now, okay? Site title, tagline, logo width, you can increase or decrease. Then finally, footer, anything that comes over here in the footer menu, you can change from here. Colors and background, the colors that you see, this is the link color, this is the link hover color. The moment you take you know your mouse to a link, this will how it will look like. Okay, link over color. And text color, which color do you want to text in? Devmitra is asking, already using WP Beginner. I received mail from them, very useful. Yes, Devmitra, thanks for informing. This is actually a very useful website. So link colors, etc. Now I will typography, which fonts do you want to use, general, headings, etc. This is for buttons, with menus, widgets, home page settings, WooCommerce, additional CSS. WooCommerce is only used when you want to sell a product. So you list your products and sell it over here. So this is kind of making changes in the themes, right? I will cancel that because okay. Then a few things more. I would like you to go and explore more before I will not take more than 10-15 minutes to close the session. Or from my end, then you can ask all the questions that you may have. But I do recommend that go and explore a few things. So what you need to explore is that um, themes, and by the way, we'll be covering different parts in smaller sections in next few sessions. Not right away, but in the future when you have your site ready and all. So This is the theme section and this is plugin section. These two are most important part of WordPress ecosystem. The theme is all about design and the plugins is all about um, adding new functionality. So suppose you want to create a dating website. Yes, you want to create a dating website. So what will you have to do is, you know that in dating websites, you have to have somebody creating a profile, uploading their picture, you know, connecting with like-minded people, and there has to be some matchmaking function also. Now, how you will get this function from? So for that, you have to go and add new plugins. So click on add new plugins, go on plugins, click on add new, and then search for any keyword that relates to your uh, site. So for example, dating. I need plugin related to dating. So see this dating site. If you want to create a dating site, then you can use that. Okay, you will have iFly chat, WordPress chat. Okay, you will find plugins related to that. Similarly, suppose you want to create a real estate listing form where owners can go and list their real estate, see essential real estate, and people can go and search that. You can list your price, rental, monthly features, etc. You can find more details. Achha, by the way, how do you select that which plugin is good? This is based on the ratings and active installations and when it was updated last time. So this has 6,000 plus active installation, means 6,000 people have installed right now active. 30 reviews, and this is reviews around 4.5. This has 4,000 active installation, 115 reviews, and this has 5 out of 5 rating, right? Similarly, this is updated 2 weeks ago. It is important to see when it was updated. Now suppose there is a plugin which was updated 1 year back or 2 year back. So you will not install that because simply um, you know that it may not function well. Okay, so if you want to know more, so simply go and click on more details and it will tell you on how. It will also show you a few screenshots on how things look like. So it's like installation screenshots, how backend listing will look like, and how you can go and in the front end you can manage the listing. Okay, this is property type, etc. This is how it will look like. So suppose I want to install this one. By the way, any functionality if you have in mind for your website, please tell me. I will try to find out a plugin for that, and I will install plugin in front of you right here to see how you can, and then I will activate that. Okay. Why, by the way, you might be asking, if this is so much is available for free, then how these people will make money? Because if everything is for free. So the point is, it is free because they have given only small part for free. If you go for a full-fledged website, then they might ask you to buy a premium version of things. Okay. So continue page setup. It is asking of a few things that you have to choose and create selected pages, and now you are done. Okay, so you can go and see now how your website will look like. Okay, so okay, here there are not much changes because you will go and see from real estate options. You have to upload a few listings, and then you will be able to see that how it is looking like. See, here you have to go and select the general setup page, URL, price format, user agents. You have to go and set up this, and then finally it will be visible on the website, right? Choice of product pictures, Bhargavi, for that, if you want to upload more pictures and products, there is always an option. So for example, see this, in this you will find property, right? Details, automatically publish the new site, search, payment, invoices, compare, print, Google Maps. So this is you will find here you can go set up page and make changes over here. Uh, Please, Vargavi, can you explain your question in bit detail because I do not understand what you were trying to say. Benchmark it is saying, is it possible to make one page in HTML, another page in Java in the same site? If yes, then how it is possible? Yes, Mensch, it is completely possible. One page in one software, another page in different software. This is possible by creating a different directory. So what we do is, so for example, digitalimpulse.in, this we will create in WordPress or HTML, and then I will go and digital impulse slash Java. Okay, I will go and install Java on this URL. Okay, so anything that you do on this page will be in Java. Right now, since this page is not there, so it might not come. But go and take a different URL and install a new software there, and then you can go and create a new page in that. So one page, for example, these pages like Facebook, YouTube, etc., these pages use multiple platforms and multiple software to build different functionalities. So they pick up the best from all the worlds and then they create a website. And that is why they are so fast. So it is definitely possible. Okay, Devmitra is asking, planning to make a poetry website, free option is okay. Only pay for domain and server. Absolutely, Devmitra. You simply pay for domain and server. You don't need to pay anything else. Right. So this is about plugins. Some general settings are also there which you can go and explore. So general settings are related to whether you want your post, do you want comments or not, site titles, tagline, WordPress URL, membership, whether you want someone to register or not. If I will tick here, then there will be an option of register on the website, right? Somebody can go and register there. Then new user, default roles, subscribers, contributors, authors, editor, and administrator, right? Customers, shop manager, etc. So subscribers will be that when you post something, they will just get an email notification that something has been posted. Contributor means someone can come and create a login, create an account on your site, submit content, but you have to approve that, okay, to before content goes for approval. So they will become contributor. If someone is author, someone has an author role. If you want to create a new user and give them the author role, then they will be able to create a login, enter the website, and post new content, new blog, new pages on the website, right? Editor will create and post the website content also. Plus, they can also edit others' content. In case of author, they were unable to, they cannot edit others' content. But in case of editor, they can post their own content as well as they can approve other content. They can edit other writers' content as well. Administrator can do anything. They can create new user. They can delete the website. They can create the website. They can do everything and anything, right? So this becomes administrator functionality. So this is how, suppose if you want multiple people to collaborate, and if you have more writers, so suppose you have 5 authors, right? All of them, you want, so 5 people, they want to blog together, they want to create a website together. So what they need to do is simply that you give them the author uh, uh, role so that they can go and create their own content. Similarly, suppose you want your people, somebody to approve content before it goes for publishing. So you can create some editors and then rest of them can be contributors. They can simply go and post the content and it will go for pending review. Editors will review the content, make changes, and then they will approve. Only when they will approve, the content will be published. So you can collaborate with multiple people to run a blog. Okay. Subscriber, they won't be able to do anything. If somebody is registered as a subscriber, so the maximum it will have is that somebody is posting. It's like if you are a newsletter subscriber. So if the new content is posted on the website, it is an email will go to them that a new content has been posted. and the link to the new blog, right? That's subscribe it. Okay. Time format, date format. Then in writing section, you can go and change default post category, um, post format, etc. Okay. Similarly, reading, have whether you want comments or not, etc., etc. Same thing that we saw in WordPress. Discussion, media, permalinks. Permalinks is the links. Okay, how you want. Do you want your URL look like something like this or this or this? You can simply select that, and you can have that, right? Um, Analytics, for that, Google Analytics and Analytics for that is used because if you want to track how many views are there, how many visitors have come to your website, for that you use Analytics. You add, this is a few essential plugins which is there. So before I go here, let me see the plugins which have been installed over here. So I will just see, and I will see installed plugins. Okay. Now Elementor, I will simply delete that. I will just show you for example why I did that, but Elementor I will delete that. Real estate I will delete that. You can anytime when you don't need a plugin, you simply go and deactivate that. Otherwise it eats a lot of space. Orbit Fox companion, you can go and delete that. Skip and deactivate, right? You can go and deactivate any plugins that you are not using. WooCommerce, since we are not using e-commerce websites, and simply go and delete that. And WordPress importers, delete that because we don't need it. Starter, delete that. Now see, after deleting all these plugins which was not needed, now the interface is looking quite cleaner, right? So that is why you should, and by the way, if you put a lot of plugins, then it makes your content, your website bulky, right? So, and it loads quite slowly. So don't do that. Just add only those plugins which is needed for a functional purposes. Quickly before we end this session, a few things. How to add payment gateway? Okay, great. This is a good question on how do you integrate a payment gateway. So first of all, you have to choose which payment gateway do you want. So suppose you want a payment gateway from PayPal, okay? You want to accept money from PayPal or Rajarpay or any other payment gateway. So you can simply go and add a new plugin, click on add new plugins, then click here and search for PayPal, right? Then PayPal donations, it's like you are accepting payment here. You simply choose any of these preloaded plugins, PayPal donations, for example, here. Once you will install and activate that, it will ask you for your PayPal email ID, not the account detail, not the password, etc. It will just ask you for your PayPal email ID. You simply give that PayPal email ID, configure the donations or terms of payment, how much payment do you want, or do you want to keep it open for the users? Do those settings and changes, and then automatically this will be configured. Similarly, suppose you have a new uh, uh, something called, so for example, new payment gateway Rajarpay. So you can search for Rajarpay. And by the way, any payment gateway that you will choose, they also provide you, see, Rajarpay for e-commerce, okay? They also provide you plugins. So suppose if you choose for any particular payment gateway, they will give you, okay, this is the plugin, you can install it and integrate with your WordPress website without any coding. That can be done. Devmitra, yes, these are preloaded plugins. Already plugins are there. You simply have to go and preload that. By the way, before I end this from my end and I open this for more questions, I will just tell you a few things that. Um, so these are the some things that you should learn right now. Also, these are the plugins which are important. Okay, this PPT will be there in the link Yoast SEO is for SEO purposes. This is the plugin for SEO purposes. By the way, we will have a different session for plugins also and themes also. But just to tell you that right now, a quick starter. Yoast SEO is done for SEO to optimize your content for search engines. Google Analytics plugin is used to track the visitors, that from where your visitors are coming, how much time they are spending, which pages they are visiting, from where you are getting most number of sales, from which city you are getting most number of visitors, and all the insights that you need. Contact Form 7 or WP forms. This is basically for uh, contact us section. So for example, this one, any on any website, go and you see the contact us form. So any changes that you want, because the inbuilt contact us form in WordPress is very standard. Only 4 fields are accepted: name, email ID, subject, and message. But suppose you want to add phone number, if you want to add more stuff, if you want to add a drop down, etc., then you will use contact form 7 or WP forms plugins to customize your uh, contact form. Updraft Plus, um, this is primarily used for having a backup of your WordPress website. So if something goes wrong, or suppose you are making any changes and something goes wrong, so you can anytime upload your previous backup and the site will not be down. Okay. Later on, I will, by the way, I will add description also before uploading this PowerPoint in the description of this video. But just right now, I'm explaining that to you. The VBA Me Chat. This is for this is primarily for WhatsApp integration. Suppose if you want people to contact you through WhatsApp, right? If you open acd.co.in, you will see in the bottom right hand side that you will find uh, see this WhatsApp, right? So for that, you can install this plugin, VVME Chat. You will find a lot of other plugins also. Simply go and search for WhatsApp and you will find a lot of plugins. WooCommerce, when you have to sell products, you have to upload product pictures, you have to upload coupons, inventory, product orders, etc. Means entire e-commerce platform you can create a WordPress website, entire e-commerce platform through WooCommerce plugin. Tiny MCE, this is mainly if you have used and if you have worked on WordPress, you will see that in WordPress you do not have much liberty in terms of fonts, etc. You can choose to make your blogs more fancy and all. That's it. Super Cache, this is to make your website faster. Okay, it loads your website much faster, especially for the old user. So if I am visiting for the first time, I will see a standard speed, but if I come to the website once again, then I will see a much faster speed. Okay, this is done through Super Cache. Elementor Page Builder, again, to create different layouts of the page, you use this plugin. And Smush Image Compression, the last plugin, it is again used by slightly advanced user. It is done when you have, suppose, if you have a bulk images, very, suppose you have a travel website and you usually upload pictures, heavy pictures, 1 MB, 2 MB, 5 MB, 10 MB pictures, then it becomes difficult for upload, especially for on mobile and slow connections, internet connections. That time, it it compresses the picture without compromising on quality, and your website will it will be a kind of load faster because of image compression. So that is all from my end. Now I will open this session for more questions. Please let me know if you have any questions. All right, and after that we will end this session here. Yes. Okay. So Jitendra is saying, will the data of Google Analytics of our website be visible to users? No, it will not be visible to users. It will be visible only to you, right? It is for when you log in your dashboard or when you will use in Google Analytics, then it will be shown only to you, not to the users. But if you have an option, if you want to show to the users that how many people are live now, you can show that as well, right? Jyot, Jyotsna, hi Jyotsna, quite long. I mean, I also see you almost after 2 years, yeah. Will the WP Super Cache work on this its own? It's once installed. Yes, Jyotsna. Once you install this on the website, it will work entirely on its own. You don't have to do anything else. Simply install that. It will start working. Bhargavi, thank you very much. So, yes, now I am open to more questions if you have any. Else, it was quite a long session because the topic demanded it, right? Um, but yes, I hope you found it useful. And in case this video will be there as usual. In case if you have more questions, you can put there in the comments. But I do request everybody to get started with the website and have the basic features. Start with the basic features. Then you will see once you will explore because it requires a lot of practical exposure also. So once you will expose, once you will start, um, you will learn, and there are enough material available on online to help you in case if you are stuck. All right, great. Then thank you very much. Thanks. We will meet you once again next Thursday. And till then, great week. Yes. All right. Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, Anuradha, ma'am. Thanks a lot. And by the way, again, I request all of you to please like this video and also share this once it is live on YouTube. Once it is there on YouTube, its link on your social media network. And thanks again. Do recommend this channel to your friends and your colleagues. Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you. I will end this session here now.